Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Alan Troop, reporting news from around the Columbia Basin from Monday, November 25th. Tonight, we report on an appeals court ruling about a man that threatened deputies with a stick and how Moses Lake may get charged up for electric cars. In sports, Bob Kirkpatrick reports on the Big Bend Lady Vikings and how they fared in basketball. And our spotlight story tonight is about people in Ephrata getting together to help the Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, an appeals court upheld the conviction of a man who threatened 2 deputies with a stick. The Washington Court of Appeals ruled Rodney Andrews' threat was an attempt to stop the deputies from doing their job. The incident started on November 8, 2010, when 2 Grant County Sheriff's deputies and a Child Protective Services investigator were trying to contact an Ephrata woman about her child. After knocking on the trailer's door, Andrews came out and argued with the officials at the residence. He later carried a stick while threatening to beat the deputies. A jury convicted Andrews of intimidating a public servant and assault in the 3rd degree. Andrews' attorney challenged the intimidating a public servant conviction, arguing Andrews did make a threat, but it wasn't an attempt to influence the officer's official action. The attorney argued evidence didn't exist, showing Andrews was trying to stop the officers from doing their job. The appeals court disagreed, pointing out the deputies at the trailer were helping the CPS investigator, and Andrews became angry when he learned why they were at the residence. For more on the story, you can visit us online at ifiber1.com/news. Moses Lake may get a new place to plug in electric cars. The City Council recently agreed to allow the Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce and the Electrical Vehicle Industry Group of Washington to install a charging station in the parking lot behind Sincayus Square. The stations have a 1-year warranty, but are expected to last longer, she said. The only cost associated with the stations will be for power. Initially, the Chamber plans to offer the service for free, but has the capability to charge for it later. Chamber Executive Director Debbie Duran-Martinez stated, SGL Automotive Group has reached out to us when they heard we were talking to this company about the charging stations, and they actually want to fund 4 more in town. The units are aimed at providing an additional service for tourists, and the location will be listed through several services. Visitors to Quincy's Ryman Simmons house will be able to get a piece of history. Microsoft donated a new computer, printer, and other hardware upgrades to the Quincy Valley Historical Society and Museum. The new computer will allow the Historical Society to purchase software to manage the museum's collection of black and white photographs of Central Washington life in the early 1900s. It also allows the Society to track the other artifacts in its collection. The printer and scanner allows visitors to select and print some of the photos. Microsoft Director of Data Center Services, Kevin Williams, stated, "We are proud to support the Quincy Valley Historical Society and Museum's work to preserve and celebrate Central Washington's rich history. Microsoft has made a long-standing commitment to supporting the communities in which we live, work, and do business in." Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We will be back after these messages with the latest from our iFIBER 1 Weather Center, sports, and more news.